Morning one and all. I'm back on Alton. Initially this morning I drove down to Birchwood Bay, and for those who don't know Alton Water, it's got probably 20 odd bays, and some of them are as big as lakes, and in fact Birchwood's probably 15 acres. But for some reason, and I can't explain it, I just didn't fancy it. Just didn't feel right. I was going to fish right in the bay, and my target was going to be the tench, and that's why I chose to go and have a look at it. There are a few tench in there, but like I say, it just didn't feel right. So I've come back to peg 13. Now last week when I was fishing, obviously I had my rods out for the bream, but I did see tench fishing close in. And I've had a feel around close in this morning, and there's quite a lot of silkweed. It seems to go out for about 2 rod lengths to about 7 foot deep. The silkweed's not 7 foot deep, it's on the bottom, but once you go into 8 and 9 foot of water, there's no silkweed, it's clear. So I've put 2 rods there with some hemp and some 4mm pellet and a little tiny bit of groundbait. And like I say, I've got 2 rods on that. One's on a dendrobina with a Brazilian flavoured bit of sweet corn, and the other one's on a krill pellet with a bit of pink fake pop-up corn. And I've got 1 rod further out. Now the thing is, when I got here, even though I'd gone to Birchwood for first light, I came back here, got here about 7 I guess, so it was well past first light, and I probably saw 20 odd bream roll all the way across. I mean, it's 200 yards wide, so that's a lot of water, but there were a couple this side, a couple down the middle, and a few further across like there were last week. They seem to be active during the day, and I've gone with, on the long rod for the bream, I've gone with 20 balls of ground bait, which is a lot more than I put out last week. But the reason is because I think the fish will be active potentially during the day, and the proof of that is that I've had 2 beeps on the 1 rod that I've got out for the bream already. I've had an indication on the inside rod, so I'm optimistic of catching tench. And tench, pretty much, you don't know when they're going to feed. They could feed at night, they could feed during the day. I've never had them at a consistent time. There's no rule of thumb, whereas recently the bream have been a lot more nocturnal. But hey ho, let's see. My rods are out, and hopefully I might be able to video me catching a fish in daylight rather than in the middle of the night. Yeah, the long rod again, I've gone with a krill pellet and a bit of pink pop-up. So as and when I catch something, I'll get back to you. And he says confidently, and I am confident I will catch. So how many is a different matter, but we'll see. So thanks for watching, guys, and speak to you soon. First fish of the session. This feels like a good fish. Messing about with it for ages, it was. About 9:30. This is pulling back a bit. Been kept awake by the first mozzie of the year buzzing around my head all night. This doesn't feel like a bream, that's for sure. not a carp, that's a, maybe it's my first tench of the year out of here. Oh goodness, that's Bream. Easy. That's a good fish. Right, this is a nice fish. First fish of the session. Absolute quality fish. This fish, another absolute stonking Alton Bream. Absolute clonker. Look, fin, absolutely fin perfect. Beautiful. 15 minutes later, another fish, similar size. Absolute beauty. Don't think it's going on the scales, it's not that big, but morning one and all. It's about 5:30. I'm sure you can see it's a bit of a misty and chilly one this morning. Dropped down to about 2 degrees at about 1 o'clock this morning. No sign of the tench at all. I had a couple of beeps yesterday evening on the inside, 2 inside rods, and in the end because I had no more indications, about 11 o'clock I put 2 rods out for the Bream, and I managed 5 fish. I'd already had a couple further out on the single rod that was out there, so I thought, well, I'm not here to just fish for the tench. I've kept 1 rod on the inside, still no indications on it other than those couple of single beeps yesterday evening. 5 very good fish though.